Hi, I'm Robyn and welcome to Well Conceived Business. We help online business owners within health and wellness to create a business and life that is not only well paid, but well lived. Here you'll find honest and refreshing conversations about what it takes to create a business around your life, what healthy hustle looks like, as well as insights and tips on growing your audience, your signature program, your profit, and your peace. Ready? Let's go.
I remember when Instagram stories first came out, and it felt like just another obligation on the to-do list of the black hole of Instagram and content that I should be creating. And I don't know if you've ever felt like that. Then I see, all of these Instagram caption things and 365 ideas for Instagram stories. And lots of them share things like share something inspirational, share behind the scenes, etc. And it feels really abstract and like you have to then start from scratch every single day, 365 days of the year, and look at this planner and be like, okay, today is something inspirational. And you sit there at the beginning of the day and be like, what the fuck is inspirational for today? Try to frantically think of an idea. And in running the Mind Body Fertility Reset brand, we got into a really good flow of Instagram stories. And one of the things that I have since learned is number one, it is really easy to get into a flow of Instagram stories when you know what you're posting and have a plan. But also, number two is that Instagram stories are the best. They are so good at building an engaged community, building trust, and building connection with people. And they're also incredible for selling and conversions. So if you're not using Instagram stories, know that there may be some opportunity for you, particularly if you have established audience. I'm talking like maybe you've got 1,000 people who are engaged. They probably want to hear from your Instagram stories. And if somebody hits follow on your account, at the start of when they hit follow, is when they are going to first start seeing you at the beginning of the Instagram stories algorithm all the time. So you want to show up consistently and not just periodically, but you also want to share good and juicy stuff because then you'll have more people coming and checking out your Instagram stories. So if you are interested in creating more conversions from your Instagram stories and making more sales from your Instagram stories and having more of a plan for your Instagram stories, then what I'm going to share with you is what I have found to be the simplest and easiest way to navigate Instagram stories in a consistent and converting way. Does that sound like something that you would be interested in? If so, keep listening. So, the very easiest way that I have found to navigate Instagram stories is number one, to sit down with almost like a monthly plan. And I do this for my feed a little bit as well. But sit down and look at the beginning of the month or whatever it is, okay, what program or product am I promoting? And maybe you have a live launch cycle in one program. So it's very simple. Maybe you have multiple products and programs and you're like, okay, this is the focus for this month. So it's really important to understand what opt-in are you like focusing on as a priority and what sales pipeline funnel do you have? Because that's going to impact your content and your Instagram stories for the month. Really good to have a focus of what you're going to be doing. And then having a plan for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. The easiest way I've found to navigate Instagram is to work by days of the week. So this is what the flow looked like for us within Mind Body Fertility Reset and what we're navigating more towards with the Launch Easy Life account. We've been in a real season of sort of heavy creation and establishing our product, our niche, etc. So I haven't been in sort of that stage of consistency. It's been a real stage of experimentation and figuring out who I want to be, what my voice is on that platform. You only ever find out those things by posting and seeing what you like, what you want to talk about, etc. But now we're sort of coming into a season of consistency, knowing what we want to promote, knowing what we want our core offer suite to be, and being able to foster that consistency. So you're going to see the same strategy used for us on the Launch Easy Life account as well. So we focus on the month. We get a bit of a check-in on, okay, well, what programs and products am I promoting? What's that going to look like? And then what you will do is have a look at, okay, well, what am I going to promote for each day of the week? So rather than sitting down 365 days of the year and sitting down that morning and being like, oh, it says share something inspirational, you're going to have a plan for this is what I share on Mondays. And everybody always knows pretty much what day of the week it is. So it's going to be really clear for you. Now, I haven't discussed Sunday. So let's start with Sunday. You're going to go blank and have a day off on Sunday. Number one, because you're a human being and you do not have to be a slave to any social media platform. You are here to build a life. You are here to build a business, not build an Instagram account. So always know where your priorities lie. Business is important, but life is the number one most important thing that you have. So allow yourself to be a human being, but also know that this is going to, in most circumstances, benefit your account. What happens when you go blank on a Sunday is it kind of resets the stats. And then once you go live on Monday, provided that you do that well, it's going to revive your statistics and help you come back with sort of like a bang on Monday. So Sunday, give yourself a 24-hour reprieve from any Instagram stories, and that's going to reset your little Instagram stories algorithm. Then what you're going to do on Monday is lead with engagement. And what does that mean? You want to start off your very first Instagram story or stories on a Monday with polls. So polls are where you get the answers and you just click a button of what applies. Now, the number one thing that Instagram stories looks at, Adam Mosseri recently wrote a blog post, or Instagram recently wrote a blog post about all of the different algorithms for Instagram stories, and it looks at a range of different things. It looks at how close they are, how much you interact with their content, whether they're friends and family, whether they're on your favorites list, etc. But one of the things it looks at is how likely they are, or did they take action on your Instagram stories? And if they did, it will continue to show it to more people if more people are taking action. So we want to kick off the week strong with engagement and action. The best way to do that is by giving people things that they can very easily answer and don't have to think about. I'm not a huge fan of asking things like, how was your weekend? Great, not so great, or things that are unrelated. Do you have a cat or a dog? I much prefer to ask people questions that are related to my niche and my expertise, but things that are really easy for people to answer. They know off the top of their head if they did, like how long they've been trying to conceive, or whether or not they've tried the keto diet, whatever it is. They know off the top of their head a yes or no answer to these things. You can add some emojis to really invoke some emotion in that. And you can ask on your Instagram stories one question, or you can do a couple of stories that ask a few questions from people that are really easy to answer. Then what you might want to do is go to the next slide and ask a Q&A sticker. Now, when accounts are just starting, it can be a bit slow to get people in the habit of asking these questions. So this is your permission slip for, like, while you're growing your account, to answer your own questions. So you can totally go and look at your Instagram story and ask yourself some questions, and ask yourself, well, what are some questions that would be really helpful for my ideal audience to know? What is going to help me build my authority? And you almost train your audience with what kind of questions you're really good at answering, so that then they'll ask their own questions. When people start asking questions from you in your account, that is really good for helping you determine topics for longer form content, such as podcasts, YouTube channels, etc. But it also is what's going to start helping establish you as an authority within your niche. So I highly recommend the Q&A stickers, even if for the first couple of months or while you're growing your account, you're the person that asks yourself a few of those question stickers. Now, you might get, when we had the Mind Body Fertility Reset account, it kind of looked like I'd put out the question stickers, and sometimes I would get like 30, 40 questions. Sometimes I'd be inundated with questions, and then people tune out. Like, you would know what you do on Instagram stories. Sometimes you check out when there's too many responses. So really you only want to have on a day-to-day basis, like 5 to 7 Instagram stories so that people aren't going to feel like it's a drag to just keep clicking next, 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 next. So you would pick the 5 to 7 that would most represent you, your authority, and your core transformation. However, if someone has taken the time to ask you a question and you are a business who wants more business, can I please provide a small recommendation that you then privately message and answer the questions from everybody else who asked a question, because they've viewed you as an authority with some trust. So if you want to further build on the trust and not erode trust, it's my recommendation that you'd still answer the question, even if the question is slightly off topic or you can't answer it, or the answer that you give is to refer someone to another account. Be a good human being and a good business owner. If you want to grow your business and get more business, then I highly recommend that you answer all of the questions, even if you just choose 5 to 7 to answer publicly. And not everybody knows this, but when you do answer somebody's question on an Instagram story, it sends them a little notification that you've done that. So they will see that you've answered that.
If you're a health and wellness practitioner and you're growing your business, you know that Instagram is unrivaled in its ability to grow, connect, and convert your audience all on the one platform. But it's not just about going viral and reaching a bunch of people. It's about grabbing your Cloud9 clients' attention in a way that positions you as an authority and a service provider. Want to know exactly how to do that? I have a free PDF case study with 3 example posts that will give you an insight into 3 different types of posts you can create today to help you do just that. Check out our show notes or visit launcheasylife.com/social to get your hands on this free PDF copy today.
So what that's then going to look like is on the Tuesday, you will strategically answer some of those questions. But feel free, permission slip, because obviously people have to see your Instagram story, and that takes a little bit of a while because some people are all in different time zones. People have to be looking on their Instagram. So you might, after you've posted on Monday, you've posted a couple of Q&A polls, and then you've posted your Q&A sticker. The following one might be a little bit of a look at, well, what have you got on this week in the context of your business? So maybe you have some one-to-one clients, maybe you're working on a program, maybe you are recording a juicy podcast episode all about tips to manage hot flashes during menopause, whatever it looks like. You might want to do just one selfie slide with your face that lets them know what you've got on this week, what you're working on. So Tuesday is going to look like going through and answering the most relevant questions on your Instagram stories. So that's Monday and Tuesday done. Then on Wednesday, let's call ourselves back to our objective and what it is that you are here for. You're here for a business. And what you want to do is start getting people onto your email list. So thinking of, well, what is the program that I have and the opt-in that I have, right? Obviously, if you're in a launch period, your Instagram stories are going to be radically different. But let's say it's a standard time. You don't have doors open to any programs or products, but you do want to grow your email list. You are then going to look at, okay, well, why might someone want my opt-in? Make it about them and don't just do one Instagram story that's like, here, get my thing. Tease it a little bit, promote it a little bit, help people understand why they might need this first. So it might start with, again, opening with a poll sticker. Polls are really easy for people to answer. So you could open up with, let's keep the menopause theme, right? You might start with, do you feel like you're about to hit menopause? Yes, I'm already there. Not yet. I'm still young, or whatever it is. Then the next slide might be, well, what kind of symptoms do you have? There they can then say like hot flashes, this, or what's the worst symptom that you have? And they can answer that question. And then the next one might be, if you don't love these symptoms, I put together a free PDF download for you. And you've got 2 options. You can either like include just a straight up pitch to the download with a link, or you could say, DM me menopause to get a copy, or You could do a poll that says, have you downloaded this yet? Yes, no, but send me the link. Then what you can do is all of the people who hit yes, you could obviously say, thank you so much for downloading it. Did you like it? And then you have the option of all of the people who said no, send it to me. You can send them a DM and say, hey, here's a link to the freebie. I hope you love it. And that's going to foster more engagement and collaboration in your direct messages, which will foster more story views, etc., etc. So Wednesday, we want to look at promoting our opt-in. Now, one of the things that's going to be helpful if you sit down at the beginning of the month and plot this out is that you then can plot out the questions that you will ask and the poll answers for each week that you'll do it and make it a little bit different every time. The other thing that you could do is a bit of storytelling, and I'll talk about this for what you do on Friday, but you could plot out, okay, I'm going to do a little bit of a story lead in. Let's again say we're talking about menopause. I remember 3 years ago sitting in a carnival for my kids and then all of a sudden having this giant hot flash that felt like my body was on fire. I had really bad perimenopause symptoms and ended up going on hormone replacement therapy. It was only, after doing that and feeling like it wasn't working, then I did this, etc. Hey, here's my opt-in. So you could do a bit of a storytelling flow as well, but plan it out so that then you're not caught on the fly, and it's really easy to put that together. Then what you will do on Thursday is I want you to lean into a case study or client that you've had, if you've had a client, or a behind the scenes, and really start showcasing that zero to hero transformation. Maybe you've had a one-to-one client this week, and what you are talking about is, let's talk about fertility and IVF. She's an IVF client and she's 42, and you're a dietitian who works with your client on optimizing their chances of conceiving via IVF. So obviously being mindful of, when you're a dietitian, for example, you can't share really like testimonials or case studies, but you can talk about, this week we've worked with 4 clients who are about to go through IVF cycles. Then on the next slide, you can talk about, here's some of the things we've discussed and some of our recommendations, and start to showcase customer journeys and transformations in that way, and talk about, we've looked at making sure we're having protein in the breakfast. For breakfast, we've made sure that we are eating within 30 minutes on what that routine might look like. We've done a supplement review and made sure that we're not taking any supplements that aren't required. So often what people do when they share testimonials and things like that is they don't really take people on the journey. They might just share a testimonial, or they might just share, I've had 4 one-on-one clients. Let us know a little bit more details about those clients, about what you've been working on, about what your specialties are, so that people can self-identify that this might be for them as well, or working with you might be for them as well. If you don't have any clients, you can talk about your transformation. You can talk about what you've been working on this week, what's been lighting you up, what kind of routines you've been loving. And again, if you plot this out at the beginning of the month, you know what calls you've got coming up and what you've been working on with your clients. Even if all you need to do is write it in a Google document, then you're going to have it laid out, and you're not going to come to the beginning of the day and be like, what do I talk about? But you are going to know that what you are talking about is a customer journey or a zero to hero transformation that you have from a client. And you're obviously going to want to then have a call to action about like ways to work with me, how you can work with me, and have a call to action of what people can do if they want to take the next step with you. Then what you'll have is Friday's content. I always love Friday as a bit of a light on content day. And what I generally will do on a Friday is promote some of my long form content. Maybe you have a blog post, maybe you have a TikTok channel, maybe you have a podcast or a YouTube channel. Where else can you send people so that you can start expanding the places that they're following you, the other content that they're consuming? So there's kind of like the Google, I don't know if it's like 4-11-7 or 7-11-4 rule, that people need like 7 different places that they've seen you, 11 hours of content, etc., in order to really buy from you. And it was a study that was conducted by Google. I always get the order of which one's which messed up. But people need a significant amount of content before they can say, okay, this is the expert. I feel comfortable working with them, by and large. So you're going to want to say, okay, where else can people follow me? So you might even start that with an Instagram story that talks about either the title of the episode. So for example, if it was this episode, I might say, do you find Instagram stories really easy? And then they might like, yes, no, or are you consistent on the platform? Yes or no. How often do you post? Do you plan it out by month? So I can ask a few questions and then I can lead into, hey, this is exactly what we've talked about on the podcast this week. Tune into the episode for more details and share my audiogram that way. Or you can say something like, have you listened yet? Yes or no. Again, same thing. Oh, send me the link to that episode. I want to listen to it. Yes or no in the poll. And then you have the opportunity to direct message people the link to that episode so that you're fostering more engagement in the direct messages. So Friday becomes all about a content spotlight of where else can you send people that you have other content, preferably your long form content, blog, YouTube, or podcast, so that people can start to really get to know your brand, your expertise, and what you talk about. And then on Saturday, my favorite thing to do on a Saturday is almost like a week recap. This is what we worked on. This is who we helped. This is the events and promotions we had. These are the products, and do a bit of a recap of what's going on. Or the other thing that you can do is, and this is where we talk about inspirational content, how can you showcase to clients that you're leading the life that you recommend they have? So that might look like, if you're an anti-burnout coach, showing yourself resting, right? If you are a dietitian, sharing what you eat on that day. If you are a meditation or breathwork coach, recording yourself doing meditation and breath work so that clients can see that you practice what you preach. And I feel like it's so much easier to do things like that on a weekend. So that's what you might do. You might also share some testimonials. And again, really leaning into that recap of what's happened this week. And then again, on Sundays, we just go blank because that resets the algorithm ready for Monday. I hope you have loved this episode. Instagram stories are one of the best ways, as I said, to foster not only connections and engagement on your account, but to convert people into email subscribers and clients. It is a game changer for your business. And particularly once you've started getting traction on your feed, it is something that is worthwhile investing your time in doing consistently, but keeping in mind that you're not just there for like random shits and giggles and photos of things. You're there to convert people. So really having that business focus and having a flow with days of the week, I find helps really consistently maintain that focus on what people should be doing on the platform at any given time. And planning that out over the month means that you can have, say, for example, on Wednesdays, the day that we promote our opt-in, make it easier so that it's week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. And then the plot twist is that the following month, you can probably rinse and repeat that and only make some slight edits and tweaks. And it's going to make the whole process go a lot faster. You can have a Google Drive folder where you've got like week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, or a Canva projects folder. It's going to make the whole process way easier when you know what to post and you consistently do the same thing over and over again, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, to be consistent. If you've loved this episode, come and reach out to me on Launch Easy Life and start following us, because this is the exact thing that we'll be implementing on that account now. But it's the same process that we use for years on the Mind Body Fertility Reset account. Thanks so much. I'll catch you next week. Bye.
We are done with the meat and potatoes of this episode, but I am not letting you go just yet, my friend. Before you jump off, I have 3 quick things that I would love to share with you. Number 1 is thank you so much for listening today. If you'd like to hear more about growing your visibility through Instagram, podcasting, or Pinterest, creating or launching or growing your signature program, automations, or many more online business nuggets of gold, pause now, hit that subscribe button, because we are here for you weekly. Number 2 is if you would like to learn more about working with us and joining our signature program, the well-conceived mastermind, which is unlike any mastermind you've seen before. Check out our show notes below and you will find all the links to join the waitlist or sign up and join the mastermind now. And number 3, lastly, if you do nothing else, make sure you come and find us on Instagram for daily behind the scenes and hugely savable and value-packed content. You will find us at Launch Easy Life. Well, that's it from me today. Now go out there and create your well-paid business and your well-lived life.